Welcome to Thursday Primetime, presented by Indeed. You're watching the ACC on ESPN, and you are watching the leading candidate for National Player of the Year honors, Hannah Hidalgo, leading third-ranked Notre Dame against the Stanford Cardinal. Hi, everyone, and welcome courtside. I'm Beth Mowens, along with the Naismith Hall of Famer Debbie Antonelli. Notre Dame starts the night at 10-0 in the ACC, a game up in first place right now in the league, and a big reason why has been the play of Hannah Hidalgo.
There's fast, and then there's Hannah Hidalgo. She impacts the game on both sides of the ball. Offensively, she's a three-level player. She gets to the paint, she can score. She knocks down triples in their transition. She's one of the top defensive players as well as one of the best offensive. To your point, Beth, why she is the leading candidate right now for National Player of the Year. She has no deficiencies, and she plays the game with incredible joy. It's energetic, and it's really fun to watch.
How about the last couple of games, both better than 30 points? A tough challenge ahead for Stanford. They pretty much have to win out. Maybe they can manage one or two more losses, and that's it if they want to get back to the NCAA tournament for the 37th year in a row.
Look, they've got an opportunity tonight. Quad one opportunity in front of them. Notre Dame has been outstanding all season, and in order for Stanford to get a win, Nunu Agara has got to play well. She's got to score, she has to rebound, she has to get them in their transition game, she's got to defend the rim. She's coming off a huge game, 22-14 against the Tar Heels in a 2-point loss at home. She knows she has a responsibility here tonight, and she's willing to take it on.
It's a young Stanford team. She's just a sophomore, and Agara is still trying to find her way as the go-to player for the Cardinal. They are relying heavily lately on their freshmen and sophomores who have been delivering.
Transition defense is the key for Stanford. You have to make Notre Dame execute in the quarter court. They are too good in their transition game.
The teams that have had a chance and kept it close are the ones that have been able to take that away from them. Blacks for Stanford, whites for the Fighting Irish, and Bazgana has it knocked loose. Take it away and run with it, a big part of the Notre Dame game.
Big habits on the offensive end for Notre Dame. Run the floor hard, run it wide, move the ball, play in space. Stanford's going to have to be really good in their closeouts tonight.
Leatu King, who's playing with the nose guard after she got knocked in their last game, and it will stay at this end where the Fighting Irish, along with King and Maddie Westbeld along that front line, have the best backcourt in the country, and Hidalgo, Olivia Miles, and Sonia Citron.
2 point guards on the floor that can score and that distribute the ball at a high level. Olivia Miles is a 50-40-80 player, which means 50% from 2, 40% from 3, and better than 80% from the free throw line.
Both she and Hidalgo have those numbers. Very impressive. And Miles will hit for 3. Speaking of 3, that's 3 triple-doubles that she's already got on the resume this year. 6 in her career. Counter from Stanford. Shea Ijiwoye, a freshman in the lineup.
Just her 5th triple of the season, and she's going to be left open. She's going to have to score from outside the arc.
And the dead ball turnover from Chloe Clardy. She and Ijiwoye joined the starting lineup back on January 5th. And as Kate Bay has talked about in her first year as the head coach, we're going to ride with the youngsters. They have big responsibilities handling the ball today against this Notre Dame backcourt.
Well, when Talana Lapolo, who was their back-to-back starting point guard over the last 2 years, went out with an injury after 5 games, they had to play young in the backcourt.
Here is Hidalgo, 3 and white. She'll try the triple. Elena Bazgana with the rebound. She and Brooke Dimitri are their senior starters in the lineup. Their numbers have been down the last 5 games. They're looking to get off to a good start tonight.
See, this is where Nunu Agara's got to play well. In the pinch, through the elbows. When you play against Notre Dame, you can't play on top of their defense. You have to get inside, playing through the elbows, looking to go back door, dribble entries, all of those things really important for Stanford tonight. Oye has enough speed to keep Hannah Hidalgo in front, but it's not going to be an easy challenge. And there are going to be times when she is going to get past.
Westbeld, she hits her first look. She's only been playing half the season, coming back from an injury. And a terrific addition to this lineup, 1,000-point scorer. And close to 1,000 career rebounds as well.
One of the things Neil Ivey told us pregame about Maddie Westbeld, her 9th game, is trying to get the chemistry right, trying to figure out the rotation, still a work in progress. And for a team that's number 3 in the country that has won 14 in a row, and you're still working on your rotations in February, that's actually a good thing, because you have another level you can go to.
Boy, active hands by the Fighting Irish defense to get another takeaway.
You've got to keep the ball in front. You can't gamble against the Irish, because this happens right here.
King gets it back.
They get space, they get distribution, they share the ball at 59% of their baskets are assisted in league play. See, Nunu Agara's got to look right there. She's got to look at the rim.
Another deflection. Hidalgo will get to it. That's 4 turnovers already for Stanford. And Hannah, quick to pull that trigger, and it will go to the Cardinals.
You can't gamble right there, because when you gamble, you get out of position. And then it requires help in the lane, because Notre Dame does a really good job of getting a piece of the paint.
Ball security an issue early. The Cardinal 4 turnovers. They've only gotten 2 shots up.
Now trying Dimitri through the pinch, through the elbow.
Agara will swing it over to Clardy. She'll pull up mid-range. Agara able to tip it, keep it alive. Another chance for Stanford. Courtney Ogden has checked into the game. Agara this time will be aggressive to the rim. Bothered on the shot, and here comes Miles on the run. Notre Dame with numbers, and Miles got hung up in midair.
She just threw it out of bounds. See, sometimes Olivia Miles is trying to go for the home run instead of just hitting a single. Right there, I'd call that a home run play. She left her feet, trying to make the big play. And on the other end, Agara has got to go on a straight line to the bucket, not round off her drive, because you're letting the defense go. Right there to beat you to the spot.
Clardy for 3. This was a big part of Stanford's game early in the season. The numbers have tailed off a bit in league play, but they've brought it out early here tonight.
Go naked side 2-man game. That's a tough 2 right there.
Boy, and Hannah has started out 0 for 4 already with 4 shots up.
When the throwback to Westbeld for 3 was open.
Dimitri, the trail 3, no. Miles is there with the rebound. That's her second already. Fade, tough shot. Stanford can grab the lead. Fighting Irish just 3 of 10 early, and some ill-advised. Agara lands hard on the ground, stays down. Miles fouled at the other end.
Agara in a lot of pain.
And the trainers are out to check on Agara. Or check that. Chloe Clardy picked up the foul down at this end. This would be big right here for Stanford if she's able to get to her feet and continue. 17 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists the numbers she's averaging in the last 10 years in ACC play, only three-time Player of the Year Elizabeth Kitley has been able to put up those numbers. And Aguera will not even stop at the bench. She'll go all the way back to the locker room. Looks like she's grabbing her tailbone area. Miles rattles in the first. Olivia 80% at the line. Gets a pair there. Timeout on the floor, 9-6. Notre Dame with the lead over Stanford. 5 points, 3 rebounds so far for Olivia Miles. Clardy and Ijiwoye with 3 points each for the Cardinal. Defeat the UConn Huskies. Thank you, Ryan and Rebecca and Holly. We are here at Notre Dame, the third-ranked Fighting Irish with the early advantage over Stanford. The Irish at 10-0 atop the ACC, led by their National Player of the Year contender, Hannah Hidalgo, averaging 26 points per game. They have a resume that includes 3 wins against the top 5. And right now, it's the Fighting Irish, UCLA, and South Carolina entrenched as 1 seeds. There's probably still that 4th #1 seed up for grabs. UConn's chances taking a blow with the loss earlier today. Beth Mullins alongside Debbie Antonelli, and glad you could be with us.
Yeah, what a start to our game, and what an incredible finish to the Tennessee-UConn game. Notre Dame and Hannah Hidalgo, one of the top scorers in the country, a 3-level scorer, also impacts the game on the defensive end. She is one of the top players. I think she is the leading contender right now for National Player of the Year. Just a sophomore, and has the Notre Dame Fighting Irish on a 14-game winning streak and undefeated in ACC play.
The Stanford Cardinal, they've got a lot on the line as well. It's going to be a tough challenge here tonight. This would be a huge quad 1 win for them. They have 7 games remaining after tonight. Only one of those opponents are ranked right now. They are very close, Debbie, to having to win out after tonight in order to have a chance to make it 37 straight NCAA tournament bids.
This is an atypical resume for what has been historically one of the most dominant programs in women's college basketball. Kate Payne, her first year, replacing the legend Tara Vanderveer. When you look at Stanford's team, you should know that 4 of their 7 losses are by 1 or 2 possessions, by an average of 3 points. They are in games. They have not been able to close out games. And right before Ryan and Rebecca came to us, Nunu Aguera went to the locker room having taken a hard fall. She's their leading scorer, their best rebounder. Hopefully we'll get a report on her soon.
She did not stop at the bench, went all the way back to the locker room. And so they will continue on without her. They've done a nice job so far on Hidalgo, who has started the game 0 for 4.
You have to be aggressive against Notre Dame, and you're going to have to beat them off the bounce. You've got to get a piece of the paint, and that's not typically the way Stanford has played this season. They've had a hard time getting inside and making a play once they get to the paint, unless they're going all the way to the rim.
Turnover is a big issue early. That's already 5 for Stanford against this backcourt that most consider to be the best in the country in Miles Hidalgo and Sonia Citron. And now they've added Maddie Westbeld to the front line. This is her 9th game, her 6th start after missing the first half of the season with a foot injury.
One of the areas on the floor I think Stanford has to be aggressive at is in the middle third at the elbows. They like to run a lot of their offense through the pinch.
That is a 6th turnover, and then they give it right back, and Miles will be whistled for the reach-in. That's her first.
You have to keep Notre Dame out of transition if you're Stanford. They've been getting 2 back in transition defense, trying to protect and force Notre Dame to run some quarter court. Look, it's tough to guard Notre Dame. They have 5 weapons on the floor that can score at all times, even when they substitute. But you got to take something away, and their transition game has to be it.
7 different players have had a 20-point game this year. For Niele Ivy's club, they score 20 fast break points a game. They score 20 points off of turnovers per game. And a foul inside on Clardy, trying to defend on Kate Kaval, the 6'5" freshman from Ukraine.
And see, Beth, that's my point right there about transition defense. They're coming downhill, tilting the floor at you. You've got to sprint back and get your matchups right. That was a really good job of Notre Dame at taking advantage of their size in that matchup with an early entry to the post.
And that is the 2nd foul on Chloe Clardy. So Stanford is down 2 starters as Hidalgo still trying to find her mark, 0 for 5 to open up the ball game.
That's a great read by Hidalgo. Even though she missed the shot, they run that flex offense and that baseline out of bounds, and she just breaks off the play and gets into space.
Got a whistle off the ball on Stanford setting a screen. That's on Brooke Dimitri, the senior out of California. Not an easy chore for Stanford and Cal to come east to play these matchups. They got 4 road trips in league play back to the Eastern time zone. Working inside. Kaval turns, no. Good box out that time by Kennedy Ume, who may have extended minutes in the post for Stanford tonight.
I think she's a terrific matchup inside. There she's going to pick up a foul because she's working without the ball. The 6'4" freshman starting to get more minutes in Kate Pay's rotation at Stanford.
May have to utilize a lot more of their bench tonight. Tess Heel was in there briefly. She'll go back out. Mary Ashley Stevenson, former Big Ten Freshman of the Year at Purdue, is on now. Cass Prosper is out there for the Fighting Irish. The left-hander, Bazgano, they gotta try and get her going. And the turnover.
That was a really good job, though, of E.G. Woye getting a piece of the paint on the baseline, setting up one of their better 3-point shooters in Bazgana. You got to knock down open shots against Notre Dame. There's a lot of things that got to go right for you to win in here.
And unfortunately, something has gone wrong already. Reports now from the Stanford side that Nunu Aguera will not return tonight, injured in this first quarter. Their leading scorer and their star player. She's come back out onto the bench with her teammates, but we're told she will not return. Took a hard fall. That's a shame for the Cardinal. They will head to Louisville after this game to play the Cardinals on Sunday. Citron against the shorter defender, gets inside the lane. Ume, and she turns it over again.
Well, there's live ball and there's dead ball, and that's a dead ball turnover, which allows you to at least get back and set your defense. No rhythm to this game at all early on.
Irish have not been able to run, just one fast break basket. Carlin faces up, short. Ijiwoye with the rebound.
Ijiwoye has hit a 3 in the game, but she's not known as a three-point shooter, so you'll see a softer cover on her by Notre Dame.
Ogden with a nice take, blows by Miles to the rim.
I think that's a matchup that you can expose if you are aggressive, but you got to be aggressive with it if you're going to take Miles off the bounce.
Hidalgo still looking for that first field goal. King crashes the boards. Hannah, short corner, and finally breaks through after missing her first 6 shots.
Hannah Hidalgo is a menace, is the way Kate Pate described her, and that was a compliment because of how hard she plays on the defensive end. She stays active on the weak side, too. She's always looking to make a play.
She's a semifinalist for Defensive Player of the Year honors with her 4 steals per game average.
Opportunistic right here. Offensive rebound by Leah Tu King.
That's the 2nd foul now on Olivia Miles. She'll stay in there for now. Stanford just cannot hang on. Turnover number 10. King beats everybody down the floor. Good find.
That cannot happen. It's a dead ball inbound, and you're not matched up. You got to have a higher sense of urgency and awareness.
Yeah, that's a fast break off of a dead ball. Ume. See if they work on Miles with those 3 fouls.
Good help.
Ume, nice step through. No, second chance. She's working on the glass. Missed that one as well. And then a foul called on Dimitri. Stanford just trying to find a spark at this point. Stevenson will check back in for Dimitri. That's her 2nd personal foul, and she got that 94 feet away from the rim. So they are now without 3 starters, 1 injured, 2 others in foul trouble. Final 10 seconds of this first quarter. Miles going to get it back. Steps through, scoops, no. King crashes. And that'll take care of the first quarter. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Indeed. And immediately, the athletic trainer helped her over and kind of motioned that she would not be returning, and that has been confirmed by the folks at Stanford.
I mean, she's their leading scorer, their best rebounder, 8 double-doubles on the season, and one of the most improved players in the nation. And that is the 11th Stanford turnover. Yet, Notre Dame has not been able to really take advantage of it because they're dead ball turnovers, and at least Stanford can set their D.
Irish have not looked sharp offensively through the first 10 minutes.
She has.
Westbeld a couple of buckets. They usually shoot about 50%, only 35% shooting in the quarter.
Westbeld 3 for 3 to start the game. See how cleared out that side is, that lane line is, and if you put the right personnel there, which was Nunu Aguera, she was really good in the pinch or the elbow. Her ability to drive on that one-on-one matchup with everyone lifted with no help.
Westbeld runs the floor. 4 for 4 for Maddie, assisted by Hidalgo. And their first opportunity really to rebound and run tonight. 8 unanswered by the Irish.
you watch Hannah Hidalgo and her footwork, she never takes a negative step on defense, which I mean is she doesn't step backwards. She steps forward or to the side. She never lets you get by her, except for that right there. Ijiwoye does a good job of going off the bounce aggressively against an overplaying defense. That's how you attack them.
Westbelt feeling it in this first half. She's the one that's been most affected by this guard-oriented Irish attack in terms of her shots per game this year, cut in half. But tonight, 5 for 5 from the floor here in the first half.
Look how aggressive Hidalgo is on the ball. I mean, that's just infectious defense.
Vazgana knocks down the three. 3 of their 5 baskets, triples. Prosper into the lane, spins to the left hand and scores.
So many offensive weapons. That's why it's hard to stop them. You got to score with them. You certainly can't turn the ball over.
Score from all 5 positions on the floor. They defend well, have held 20 of their 21 opponents under their season average. Citron way short. Stevenson with the rebound.
I think their defense is getting more aggressive as the season goes on. I think they're getting more comfortable and playing behind Hannah Hidalgo. Timeout, Stanford.
Thank you, ladies. Yeah, looking forward to more talk about UConn and Tennessee. The Lady Vols may have played their way into off the host bubble and into a hosting position as Prosper scores on the run.
What a pass. Notre Dame's going to pick up their tempo right here, and that's going to be trouble for Stanford.
They've assisted on 9 of 12 baskets. And after a slow start in that first quarter, they're playing a lot more like Niele Ivy's team offensively here in the second. Tess Hill has it knocked loose. They have been turning over Stanford repeatedly.
Well, that's going up.
Miles off the bounce, baseline.
Miles can cover some space off the bounce, that's for sure.
A look at Niele Ivy. Those 3 straight Sweet 16 appearances. Obviously, they're looking to go a lot deeper in the tournament this year. Right now, looking very much like a 1 seed.
2 games at home and then to the regional. And Olivia Miles continues to impress with her 3-point range.
8 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Last year, her 3-point shooting was in the 20 percentile range. It's up over 40 this year. Coming back from the injury that kept her off the floor all of last season. And took that time to add to her game. 5 on the shot clock. Vazgana bothered. They can't get a clean look. Clardy from way out by the logo. Terrific defense from Notre Dame.
Here's their 5th player getting it off the glass and handling like a guard.
Went 1 on 3. Clardy off the hesitation to kick out. Dimitri. And that's going to be a foul on Vazgana. Let's check out tonight's player resume, brought to you by Indeed.
2 years ago, All-American. Last year missed with the injury. She's the NCAA active career leader in assists and 3 triple doubles this year to give her a total 6.
That is tied for the most in ACC history.
She's a 50, 40, 80. And so is Hannah Hidalgo. And to have 2 players on one roster with those numbers is outstanding.
Held ball will go the other way. Notre Dame has held Stanford to just 5 baskets in 15 minutes.
Gotta stay with your matchup right here.
Miles, oh, nice step back beyond the line for 3. Olivia Miles slicing and dicing. Ouch. Wow. Got the defender leaning, took advantage. Miles now with 11 points. Let's take another look.
Miles doing a good job of playing off the screen, and then look at that footwork. When she was injured last year, this is what she worked on. She knew she had to improve this part of her game, and she sure has.
Tremendous WNBA potential has seen her stock rise, proving that she has come back nicely from the injury. She's got the Irish right now on a 10-0 run. And defensively at this end of the floor, 13 Stanford points, 13 Stanford turnovers. Ume, knocked loose, and another takeaway for the Irish. And a foul on the floor.
3-level players and 3-level scoring as a team. They can beat you in so many ways offensively. They average just under 8 threes a game, but there are games where they can easily score more than that. This could be one of them tonight. They've got 4 triples so far.
Hidalgo off the window. Her second bucket, she's got 4, along with 3 assists. Here's Miles, rebound, run. Finds Hidalgo. And count it. Hangs and hits.
Almost every night, Hannah Hidalgo is the smallest player on the floor. But she's also the quickest, she's the fastest, she has the best IQ, and she has a will to score. And then when she's on the other end, it's the same things with a will to defend. That's what makes her the most complete player, the best two-way player in women's college basketball.
85% at the line. She reached 1,000 points in just 44 games. That's faster than anybody in Notre Dame history. And just as a reminder, they've got 7 players with their jerseys hanging from the rafters here.
All names that would be household names in these parts.
Citron behind the screen, got it.
It's going to be a big offensive night.
Flirting with 50 here in the first half. (25-5). They're outscoring Stanford here in the second quarter.
High hands on the catch. Closing out on the right personnel.
Stevenson, offensive foul. Just no space to breathe for Stanford offensively. Remember, in women's hoops, that restricted area is no longer there. That's the line just for the men. Hidalgo, almost picked up the dribble. Instead, it's Citron circling back around. always with their eyes up, Debbie, always keeping that dribble alive.
Citron to the nail, pull up 15-footer, 20-0 run for the Irish.
Citron with the rebound, and here comes Hidalgo.
4-on-5 right now.
First around the back, then between the legs, then the crossover, and then she's eventually tied up.
That's where you get a little too happy, like a little too excited. Your ball gets a little sticky. That's okay, though.
They are 11 for 14 in this quarter.
Right here, this is where you got to move the ball knowing you're going to get it back. Good job by Dimitri. Got to build a little bit of a wall.
Had a chance to drop it off to Carlin there instead.
But you know what? Niele Ivey will let that happen, and she'll let them play through that because the plus side is too good.
Ichiwoye with a nice drive to the rim. Hidalgo behind Koval, hits mid-range. Hannah now with 9. Miles with 11, Westbeld with 11. Balanced attack for the Irish. Under 2 minutes to go in the half. They already have 26 points off of turnovers, looking for more, and they won't get it there. Stanford scored 8 points in the first quarter. They've scored 7 here in the second. The Irish looking every bit the front runner in the ACC.
ESPN Analytics has them at 42% winning the rest of their games. 42%. They got the best.
They still got
the hardest.
NC State.
They got the hardest part of their schedule coming up.
Hey, start your Super Bowl Sunday with 3 great women's basketball matchups. We'll have the Stanford Cardinal taking on Louisville, then South Carolina and Texas, the rematch. And then it's LSU and Tennessee. Lady Vols will be coming off that huge win tonight over UConn. Big week ahead for LSU. They've got Tennessee and Texas. We're going to find out a lot about whether LSU is a threat to grab that final #1 seed.
Tennessee turned the ball over more than UConn, and they made less threes. I'm sorry, they made 7 threes. UConn made 5, and they won the basketball game by 4. Wouldn't you think that Tennessee would have turned UConn over more to get that W?
Oh, Hidalgo with a steal. She'll take it the distance. 11 now in the first half for Hannah.
And with a short bench for Niele Ivey, it's not like you can take them out.
Pass intercepted by Carlin. They can hold for 1 here. A dominating performance in this second quarter for the Fighting Irish.
And it's not just their offense. I'm equally as impressed with their defense. Gonna go 1-4 low here. Olivia Miles gonna play off a screen or a ghost.
Miles has to give it up to Carlin to beat the buzzer short, and a lot of dribbling by Miles.
They communicate. This is becoming a more complete team as we approach February. And remember, they've been to 3 straight Sweet 16s. There's a couple of players on here that are missing something on their resume, including Sony Citron, who would love to be in the Final Four.
Stick around in the second half. We're going to break down what they need to do to turn a Sweet 16 team into a Final Four and a national championship contender. We're also going to give you a blind resume this second half. Who's the #1 seed? The Fighting Irish are one of them. Olivia Miles drains another triple. She, Hidalgo, and Westbeld all in double digits in that first half. Westbeld 5 for 5 from the floor. And here they come. Turnover, run, and 1.
First of all, Sony Citron down the line, gets the deflection, perfect defensive position. while her offensive player cuts back door. And then the advanced pass, and Hidalgo on the move. Watch the Citron with the swipe right here. Perfect steal.
And Hidalgo, who entered the night, what was it, Debbie? 5/100ths of a percentage point behind Tanaya Latson.
Yes.
For the leading scorer in the country. Latson dropped 27 tonight, one above her average in Florida State's win over Virginia.
So Florida State leads the nation in scoring as Bauzgana gets a bucket. Florida State leads the nation in scoring. Okay, Tanaya Latson is 26.1. Hannah Hidalgo coming into the game was 26.05. Now the NCAA stats has them looking like they're tied.
Yes.
You can't round up. I'm sorry, but
you know how good I am at math.
Yeah.
And I took a deep dive and said, no, that's not.
No, we're not doing that. No rounding up when it comes to who leads the nation in
Only
scoring.
when we're trying to tell a better story. Bauzgana, the step through. Everything has just been a real struggle offensively for Stanford. Here's Liu King playing with the nose guard. They're not sure how serious it is in terms of whether it's a fracture or not. Got knocked in the last game. Obviously, she's good to go here today. They've got Cal coming in here on Sunday. And then a big finish for the Fighting Irish as they try and win the ACC. Still have contenders ahead on the schedule. And there's Miles sliding in on the left side and using the right hand. She's got 16, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. There's a 3 ball that Carolyn Peck was talking about at halftime in the studio for Stanford. Bauzgana, they really need to get her and Dimitri going. In the last 5 games, they've been shooting under 30% from the floor.
Well, there's no pressure now, right? There's no shots under duress, and they are going much quicker in their offense. Like, they're not even trying to reverse the ball right now. They're going into their first actions trying to score.
King has turned into one of the best transfer portal pickups in the country from Pitt. One of 7 Power Conference players averaging a double-double.
Somebody Citron doing a really good job of stuffing that penetration. And there's what I would call an unforced turnover. It's just a bad pass uphill.
They're at 22 now on the night. 25 is the season high. The school record, if you want to call it that, is 30 turnovers in one game. Look at the points off of turnovers. 33 of them for the Irish.
Well, for Kate Pay, listen, there's 5 players coming in next year, and 3 of them are McDonald's All-Americans, and it's right now, according to ESPNW and Hoop Girls, the 3rd-rated recruiting class in the nation.
They've got a lot to look forward to. They'd love to still figure out a way to get into the NCAA tournament. They've got 7 games remaining on the schedule, and only one of them, Georgia Tech, is a ranked opponent. If they win out, maybe pick up a win or 2 at the ACC tournament, now you're talking about 20-win season.
Right.
A loss here tonight is going to drop them to 500. Charlie Cream says they're not even on the bubble yet.
They do have a quad 1 win. Their Florida State win at home counts as a Q1.
Citron in and out. Hidalgo, count that one, and a foul on Shea.
Notre Dame has it all working. Look at the hustle on the offensive rebound. Hidalgo stuffs the stat sheet. She does a little bit of everything. I don't ever think she gets tired either. Does she sweat?
Motor keeps going. She now has 16 points.
Boy, I'd really like to know what her GPS number is. You know how much
how
she
far
runs
she runs in a game?
during a game?
Well, let's Let's see if we can work on that. We're going to see the Fighting Irish quite a bit here down the stretch. They've still got Duke coming on a Monday night. They've got to play at NC State on a Sunday afternoon, which could decide the regular season in the ACC.
Yeah. Big win Monday for the Wolfpack on Play for K. Puts themselves in sole possession of second place right now.
Prosper, bumped and fouled by Ogden. Hey, we got another full slate of college hoops for you on Saturday, including Auburn taking on Florida. That's a top 10 showdown for the men. And then welcome back, Dickie V. Dick Vitale will be on the call for you. That Duke-Clemson game Saturday evening on ESPN. Clemson just behind Duke on the men's side for first place.
Well, Cooper Flagg and Duke have played well, but Brad Brownell has a really good team. Ian Shefflin and Chase Daniels. A couple of really good players for Clemson that will have something to say about that. And playing at home, that'll be a really tough environment to go into. And congratulations, Coach Vitale. We're so glad you're back.
Great to see
you.
you.
We've been waiting for you.
Yeah.
We've been waiting for you to come back.
Big celebration for college basketball fans on Saturday.
Nobody promotes the Jimmy V Foundation better than Dickie V. If you haven't bought a raffle ticket, I don't think it's too late to buy one. Go to dickiev.org and buy one.
Sunday, we've got a big women's triple header, including South Carolina and Texas. South Carolina pretty locked into a 1 seed. Texas is fighting for a 1 seed. Hidalgo, look her get into the bigger defender, leaning in with contact. And after a shaky start from the floor, she's now got 19.
Watch her footwork on defense. Oh, good cut right there by Heel. No help, good set by Kate Pay. I've run the same thing, putting Olivia Miles in that defensive action. And then Miles comes down and has a wide open three.
Anna Hidalgo has made 7 shots in a row for the Fighting Irish.
Well, I love the way she stunts and defensive fakes and really makes you worry about bringing the ball up the floor. There's another steal.
King. Your center leading the break. Hidalgo behind the line, and for the 13th game in a row, Hidalgo has 20 plus.
I don't want to say they're playing horse, but Stanford's got HORS right now.
They have just been putting on a clinic tonight. That one won't fall. Miles with another rebounder, sixth, excuse me. Miles between the legs to the left hand, no. King, switch contact, switches to the left.
What'd you say, 8 in a row for Hannah Hidalgo? What an incredible, impressive second half, the step back triple. And then Leah King in traffic, switches to the left. Free throws when we come back. That's never happened here before, okay? 55% assisted, the season's 56, better in the ACC. Hidalgo and Miles need to have a 2-to-1, okay? Now, in the TCU and the Utah games, the only 2 games they lost, they only met one of this criteria in those 2 games, and that was in the TCU game, Miles and Hidalgo had a 2.25 assist turnover ratio. They didn't meet any of the other criteria. So I'm going with it. I'm sticking with it. I started it in November, and I'm going to take it all the way through April.
All the way through the Final Four if Notre Dame fans see things their way.
I think that shows, those are measures of teamwork, chemistry, personnel, and playing with pace.
As it stands, and likely the rest of the way, UCLA still the lone unbeaten. They have 2 games remaining against USC. This Notre Dame team, which looks so strong tonight. South Carolina, another big win tonight. Stick around in the 4th quarter. We're going to take a closer look at who might be 1 seed worthy and grab that 4th spot. As the regular season now, we're into the final month, Debbie. 7, 8 games left on people's slates. There's Miles. Stanford still fighting. Good box out there from Ogden, who will run some point for them as well at 6'1".
She ran a lot of sets today at shoot-around, and there's a nice set right there. Quick hitter in the middle third, being aggressive off the bounce.
If you're just joining us, by the way, Nunu Aguera, the top scorer and rebounder for the Cardinal, injured early in the game and has been out. A big loss for them, and things kind of spiraled out after that. She only played 5 minutes. Citron got hung up in the air. Tess Heel will take it.
The other thing that Notre Dame does is when they make a mistake, they go to the next play. These very resilient and a mature team, right? Because this game is not a perfect game. It's about who can make the least amount of mistakes, honestly. And you're going to make them in the game. But Niele Ivy's team plays with a high level of confidence. They share the basketball. Of course, she was a great point guard for Muffin McGraw and won a national championship in 2001. She understands what it takes. And so you can live with some of the mistakes because you know the other side of it is so good.
Well, and she talked to us pregame. You know, it's been in some ways a chemistry lesson this year, because you had Miles coming back from the injury, missed all of last season. Then you had to incorporate Westbeld back into the lineup, coming back from an injury. They're still, and they've obviously really picked up on their comfort level playing together, and the chemistry's looking right and right on.
You got to have a really good defensive team effort, and you've got to keep them out of transition. I watched the TCU and the Utah games earlier in the season because I was
back-to-back losses. Yeah,
they were. And I was wondering, how did they lose to those two teams? And two coaches that I really respect. They did a lot of ball screen action, putting certain personnel in ball screen, rolling them down to the block, taking certain personnel off the bounce. I mean, I'm sure every coach in the ACC has watched the TCU and the Utah games. I had the same question marks that I had.
Tougher to execute, right?
Yeah. You gotta have
watching it.
You gotta have personnel to be able to do it.
Yeah. Westbeld stepping away, in and out. That's her first miss. She made her first 5 shots tonight.
She hadn't taken a shot in a while.
Coming up on the final minute of this third quarter.
Clock can't run fast enough for Kate Pay.
Back out to Dimitri. Working against that shot clock. Clardy. She'll try the triple. Nothing but white jerseys around that rebound. Miles. Citron.
What a pass.
Terrific feed.
And Citron running the floor so hard. I mean, the effort in transition to push.
4th assist for Miles. The Irish have assisted on 50% of their baskets tonight.
Beth, that's their transition offense, and their ability to run the floor hard and wide is their best offensive habit to me.
Yeah.
They do it every time.
Nice step through there for Ume. Yeah, if you're going to have a chance, you've got to take away the transition game. It's been blistering tonight. Citron. Caval, and that'll take care of the third quarter. 76-30, all Irish. Miles, pretty feed to Citron, lays it up and in. Irish on the run all night long.
Well, I like Team B because they've got the most quad 1 wins and their strength of schedule is the best. To me, I think it's Team B. Now, are you trying to trick me?
I would agree.
You weren't trying to trick me.
See who it is. It is the Texas Longhorns.
Yes, I think it's Texas.
Over UConn, USC, and LSU.
Yes. Yep. right now, today, February.
Now,
I mean, who plays blind resume in February?
we do.
Early
we
February.
do.
Love it. I love
Texas has a huge game against South Carolina Sunday. USC still has 2 games with UCLA. And LSU has a massive week with Tennessee Sunday, Texas after that. So those teams all still have an opportunity to pick up Q1s. UConn, with their loss tonight now, they still have a game at South Carolina. I think it'd be a must-win in order to grab a 1 seed.
That's their only Q1 left, right?
I believe so. They're wiping out the competition in the Big East again. Gonna be fun down the stretch. Undecided still in the ACC, the SEC, the Big 12.
Really competitive races.
Yeah. This one's been all Notre Dame from the opening bell. Hannah Hidalgo, 22 points. Olivia Miles, triple-double watch. She's got some work to do. 16 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Westbeld, 13 points on 6 of 7 shooting.
Running their chin offense. Princeton principles.
If you're Stanford, there's still hope. They do, as we mentioned, they do have the 1 quad 1 win. They could pick up another one before the end of the season.
Yeah,
and oh by the way, there's trouble in the Big 12. Baylor, no quad 1 wins yet. West Virginia, no quad 1 wins yet. Iowa State, none. Minnesota doesn't have any in the Big 10 yet. Charlie Cream right now has them all in the field.
Yeah, we'll see. Right? We can break it down a little bit more as the season goes on. We still have a lot of basketball to play.
Miles, Hidalgo, Miles keeps and scores. 18 for Olivia.
Hannah Hidalgo covers up so much defensively. Sonia Citron covers up so much defensively. Leah King is a really good defender also.
Miles from the logo. Yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch Hidalgo weak side. In some ways, we were talking today, she reminds you a little bit of Angel McCautry, who was,
she does,
probably even more bothersome off the ball, coming to pick your pocket than on it.
It's an interesting conversation for coaches around the league, right? As Westbeld pulls the trigger. Here's the conversation. If you run offense at her in the first action, that means your next pass, she's in help. I think she's more dangerous there. If you run offense away from her, then she comes back to the ball, then you got to worry about her on the ball in the quarter court. She picks up defenders full court. She just gets a deflection there in a possession. I think she is great pressuring the ball up the floor, but when you get in the quarter court, I think she's more dangerous on the weak side because she's active. She's ready to make a play. She's got her engine revved up, and she's really instinctive, but she also has high IQ about the way she plays.
3 steals tonight. She's second in the country in scoring and second in the country in steals.
Behind Megan McConnell at Duquesne,
who
right now leads the nation in steals.
One of the first families of basketball.
Yes, TJ McConnell with the Pacers, her brother, her legendary aunts, Susie and Kathy.
Off the bounce, Clardy.
Got her cousin Kelly backing her up at point guard at Duquesne. You can keep going on and on. It's quite a family tree.
Stick around. We're going to start talking softball pretty soon. I got to get a Debbie Doom reference in for my softball fans out there, which starts next week in Clearwater. Here's Hidalgo fouled on the drive.
I don't get the Debbie Doom thing. That's no reference
Inside,
to me.
Yeah, I'll tell you what reference you will get though on a night like tonight, watching that UConn-Tennessee game. Shout out to our dear old friend Carol Stiff.
Absolutely.
Can we call her the godmother of women's hoops on television?
Well, she definitely is the godmother of that particular historical
UConn-Tennessee
rivalry.
Yeah.
She created
and all that's grown TV-wise.
Yeah, she's definitely created that matchup, and it's lasted for 30 years. It's amazing.
Hidalgo now at 23. 24. Dimitri on the inbound. Stevenson keeps it alive.
There are 3 other players on the bench for Niele Ivey. That one of them plays volleyball and came over late. Another one joined the team in December. And then there's Sarah Sanugal, the 5'4" senior.
They've got some other players hurt, so the bench isn't as deep as they would have hoped. KK Bransford out for the year, Kylie Watson out for the year, and Emma Risch got crutches pregame. There's a look at a couple of them there. Miles to the line. 19 now for Olivia. They are 12 of 13 from the stripe. Stanford has not attempted a single free throw this evening.
Well, remember we started the game talking about how it was challenging for Stanford to get a piece of the paint, set up other shooters. They're not a team that gets to the paint very often and can make a play. Now this right here, now you're going to the free throw line. There you go, Beth. There's your announcer's jinx.
Got that. It's timing, Debbie. It's all about timing. They got a Super Bowl coming up on Sunday, and we've got a great way to lead into that with a triple header of women's hoops for you. Stanford and Louisville, South Carolina, Texas, and Tennessee, LSU. Good stuff out of the ACC and the SEC.
You know,
South Carolina still out in front. Is it possible that they are quietly going about their business? They're wiping teams out, and they are so balanced that statistically nobody really is standing out. But I mean, the eye test doesn't lie.
That's right.
I mean, they are just good at all 5 spots on the floor.
And they play great defense.
Yep.
Yes, I think their balance is what is the highlight of their team.
Yeah.
Who's their best player? Who's their best defender? Who's their best rebounder? I mean, you can make an argument for multiple players.
Yep. They already have a win over Texas. They'll try and make it 2 for 2 after they beat Georgia tonight. That's another good conversation for the selection committee. It's going to be a held ball, and that'll stay at this end. UCLA has the head-to-head against South Carolina. The numbers give the advantage to South Carolina, but I think you and I are on the same page. Head-to-head is the end-all, be-all.
Yeah, I think so. And
tie break.
I think Lauren Betts is the Camila Cardoso factor, right? 6'7", huge inside, skilled around the rim, can make a post move, can score, can defend. If you don't have that, it's hard to go against it. And when you have that, if you have a deficiency or weakness, they cover it all up because you don't get into the paint very easily against a team with a shot blocking presence like that.
They have USC on the road next Thursday. The first of their 2 regular season matchups now in the Big Ten. Tess Hill with 3.
I mean, Tess Hill is a 53% three-point shooter. She should look to take more.
She had 6 in 1 game earlier this season. 5 minutes to go. Carlin got it for 3.
8 triples for Notre Dame, right on their average.
Everybody involved, all that have played have scored tonight. including 24 for Hannah Hidalgo, 20 for Olivia Miles. We'll take the timeout. When we come back, is Hannah Hidalgo out in front for Player of the Year honors. We'll find out who else is in the race. Let's take a look at tonight's Wooden Watch presented by Principal. And I think most folks agree this is the foursome right now that is in contention for Player of the Year honors.
26.05 entering the game, which is 0.05 below what Tania Latson at Florida State. Tonight, Florida State leads the nation in scoring. They put another 102 points on the board tonight
She
and a
had
win.
27 tonight.
Hey, I mean, maybe we should start adding Tania Latson to this list. She is leading her team in scoring, leads the nation in scoring, and the highest scoring team in the country. And she is a really good two-way player as well.
Fighting Irish, impressive at both ends of the floor tonight. They will get to 11-0 in the ACC. They'll stay a game up on NC State. NC State's only lost to the Cal Bears, and that is the next team to come in here to face Notre Dame.
So challenging to keep Hannah Hidalgo in front.
Cal lost tonight on the road at Louisville, so the Cardinals continue their nice turnaround after a slow start. They host Stanford on Sunday afternoon.
Louisville has played well. They did not beat Notre Dame, but they've beaten everybody else on their schedule. They don't have a bad loss.
They play Notre Dame again to close out the regular season right here. And a nice hand as some of the starters head out. In fact, the whole starting five departing for Notre Dame. 3:19 to go here in the fourth. Sarah Cernugel is out there. So's Lucy Jensen. Getting some time out on the floor. Prosper on the drive and one. We'll be on the Lucy Jensen watch too, Debbie. She hasn't scored yet this season as Prosper tries for a three-point play.
Let me say this about Kay Pay, because this is not easy, what she's been doing. Replacing the legend Tara Vanderveer, taking over, moving over that one seat, which everyone says is a huge adjustment when you're making all the decisions. And not one day has she lost her energy or her passion for her job or impacting or influencing young women.
Today.
Yeah, they had great energy. You know, Kate Pay was born at Stanford Hospital. How many degrees does she have? Undergrad, she's got a law degree, an MBA from Stanford. Her whole family went to Stanford. She loves Stanford. She will get it going. I have no doubt about it.
Nope. Dimitri gets that one to go. Well, Aguirre's only a sophomore. Ijiwoye is a freshman. Clardy's a sophomore. They've got that tremendous freshman class arriving next year. All right, think about it. They lost Cameron Brink, Kiki Iriafen, and Hannah Jump, one of their best three-point shooters in school history, number one.
The best. And they lost Tara Vanderveer.
And they lost Tara. Dimitri.
And all these players that are out here have played a role around those other players last year. And this year they had to step into a different role. And then when you lose Talana Lopolo with a knee injury, you know, Got your back-to-back starting point guard the last 2 years, so now you have a freshman running the point. So there's just a lot of things. Agara gets hurt in the first quarter, can't return to the game. The leading scorer and leading rebounder for Stanford. One of the most improved players in the entire country. There's Lapolo. I mean, neither coach wakes up this morning thinking this is going to be a 50-point game. I can tell you that.
Stevenson, offensive rebound, count it.
Mary Ashley Stevenson.
Stick around, by the way, Sports Center with SVP coming up next.
Mary Ashley Stevenson played her high school basketball for the great AP writer Doug Feinberg. Our pal. He does a great job covering the women's game, all levels of the women's game.
Also of note here in the final minute and a half, the worst Stanford loss ever is 45 points. They are not under that yet.
That was Tara Vanderveer's very first year at Stanford, wasn't that?
1983.
Yeah, that was her first year. Cindy Brown.
Before she arrived.
Cindy Brown, I think, was on that. Oh, that was before Tara?
Yeah, Tara got there in 85.
Oh, okay. Tara was still at Ohio State during that time. Cindy Brown was on that Long Beach State team, I think.
Oh, she was a heck of a player. Those were in the early days of the NCAA tournament.
That's when 32 teams got in. 32 teams, then it went to 40, then it went to 48, then it went to 64. Now it's at 68.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a time, not too long ago, when not every conference champion got in. Heel for three. That won't go. They'll get another crack at it. Ogden, nice pass inside. Ball down, terrific scrap there from Heel. She'll get it and get him a possession. Final minute. Hannah Hidalgo, 24 tonight. Olivia Miles, 20 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists.
I'm not even watching this film if I'm Kate Pay. I'm throwing it out the window. I'm going to have the bus run over it on its way out of the arena.
Moving on, yeah. Stevenson blocked by Caval. And a shot clock violation. '29th turnover. That's been a big part of the story tonight.
Prosper running the point. And that's what point guards at Notre Dame do. Shoot the three.
Stevenson kicks it back out to Heel. Good. Game in a row. Hannah Hidalgo has over 20. And the final seconds will tick away, and Notre Dame has handed Stanford the worst loss in school history. 96-47 is the final. And for Notre Dame, the #3 ranked Fighting Irish win their 15th in a row. They'll get set for Cal coming in here on Sunday. Miles, stellar once again, 20 points. Westbelt with 13, Prosper with 13. Heel had 10 to lead the way for the Cardinal.
Complete win on both sides.
Everybody that got into the game there, for the most part, got some points on the board. Assisted on 50% of their baskets. They forced 29 turnovers with 16 steals tonight. And they win it 96-47. And for Notre Dame, 20th win of the year, they improved to 20-2 and are now 11-0 in the ACC. So they stay a game up on North Carolina State in the race for the regular season championship. Beth Mowens along with Debbie Antonelli, joined now by Hannah Hidalgo. Another impressive performance on both ends of the floor for you guys. After a little slow start, what was the key to kind of crank things up and get that fast break going?
Yeah, I think it was just playing together. We were playing pretty selfish in the beginning, in the first quarter, but once we got our rotations, once we started moving the ball, we started playing a lot better.
Hannah, you're getting into February, so all the details and everything that you work on every day is starting to come together, right?
Absolutely.
And what did you see about tonight that makes you know you're heading in the right direction?
Yeah, I think just our defense. Our rotations are a lot better. It's something that we work on every practice. You know, we've been trying to put it together, and it looked a lot better today.
I thought overall, the defensive effort, everyone feeds off your energy. How much do you feel that responsibility on the top of the floor to make sure that everybody gets going because of the effort that you're playing with?
Yeah, I think it's just something that God has put in me. I felt it even since last year. I know I'm that defensive intensity for my teammates, and I know they feed off of that, and that's what they need.
Niel's talked a little bit about this being a chemistry lesson for you guys this year. You had to incorporate Olivia back in the lineup.
Yeah.
Then midway through the season, you got to work Westbeld in. What's been the key to getting everybody comfortable and on the same page? And it seems pretty seamless.
Yeah, I think it's just, you know, games like this when we're all playing well together and the league is pretty big. I think it's like getting them the ball, you know, getting Maddie the ball, making her feel more comfortable, getting Sony the ball when she's in the slump, and just, you know, making these girls feel comfortable in games like these.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate the time. Hannah Hidalgo and the Fighting Irish picking up a big win over Stanford. 96-47 is your final as Notre Dame stays in first place in the ACC. Sports Center with Scott Van Pelt coming up.